Can't crack one open. Get it, yeah, get it prepped.
I can try and get the next ones ready for you. Here, we'll do this.
That'll be the.
I don't wanna. You be reaching down quick. And...
Yeah. All right, just get the timer from my man. Okay, 3, 2, 1, go. Thank you. So again, Super Metroid, the classic speedrun.
The original speedrun.
The original speedrun.
Well, console now.
Sure thing. But yeah, this is Beerforce. It's actually become very popular activity among old school racers of the game. I don't know if any of the community still keeps up with it these days. But first time I saw it was actually from this guy over here from Dogfist. I saw him do it. I think on an online marathon with PJ and
right.
Team Poor Life Choices.
Yeah, that was the Fab 4 marathon way back when. And yeah, that was like an 80% in an hour, so see if JD can do a little better than that.
It'll be a lot harder than...
hour in-game time, I think. So. Yeah.
Mine's going to be a lot more difficult because I'm committed to doing the new route. So the new route is extremely hard, mostly because we are going into the wreck ship first. So immediately the difficulty just ramps up from the get-go. But yeah, early game stuff, we're in the Ceres station. You fight Ridley, you don't want to fight him, you take damage, and then you escape the station as quickly as you can. And once we get into Planet Zebes, however you want to pronounce it.
Zebes, I like it. Yep, that's what I do. Zebes or Zebus, I like Zebus.
Yeah.
Just don't say Zebes. Zebes.
Yeah, once we get onto the planet, we start collecting items, and it's just going to be a flurry. We're going to collect maybe about, I want to say about more than 10%. So that's going to be like 10 swigs right off the gate if I make it to the gravity suit. Yeah, the ghosts.
So starting off, it's just heavily movement-based. I mean, pretty much through the entire game, it's heavily movement-based. But even just this movement down to where the morph ball is to activate the whole world.
Yeah. So
every one of these screens has some specific tech to it. Like even jumping across these platforms can be incredibly tough.
So in the criteria shaft there, I have the moonwalk enabled, and that used to not be a thing. You used to not ever use the moonwalk. Who would ever think of doing that? But we found some tech. I want to say about last year or maybe
like a year or two ago.
Yeah, it's pretty new. We've been doing it. It's called the Moonfall. Use the moonwalk.
Take a drink. Take a drink.
Oh yeah, I gotta take a drink.
All right, elevator to catch up.
Yeah. I have to stop talking and start drinking.
Yeah. So next one's coming up.
Yeah, then we're gonna have to do 2 swigs on the next one, and you have 7 seconds to take this drink. So, okay, so.
Okay, that's item 2. Okay, we're caught up. Quickly into that mock ball.
Yeah.
And back up the shaft. Famous wall climbing portion, but I guess bombs would be your next swig.
Yeah. I actually don't do wall jumps in the shaft. I do a very different climb.
Just real fast ledge grabs, I guess.
Yeah.
This is always impressive.
It's a little more popular these days since the community is a lot bigger, and we have our friend Behemoth from overseas also doing this sort of climb, which I saw from the task. I saw that the task was doing it at an incredibly ridiculous speed. And I was just like, why not just go up the center? Why bother?
Pretty sick, nice.
Yeah. Why bother killing the pirates?
The movement in this room is my favorite.
Yeah, we call this the parlor. We have this is one of the earliest communities to have names for all of the rooms. Well, most of the rooms, I would say. We have very unique names, but that started sort of a trend, in the speedrunning community.
We got our bomb coming up here.
Yeah.
Item number 3.
Cheers.
Yeah, one of the trickiest parts about climbing back up there is kind of a subtle mechanic that just adds to the real cool technique of this game. But when you're spin jumping, actually Samus has a lot of different states that adjusts her hitbox size. But her spin jump, she's really small. But if you angle up or angle down, her hitbox increases, allowing you to grab platforms or instantly be standing on platforms real fast. And when there's a real long climb like that, it can save some significant time.
Can you describe how to skip this cycle? Because I know that it's a thing, but I don't understand how it works.
Sure. Basically, you need to hit the bomb chorizo with 7 missiles. You do 5 shots and 7 missiles. But you have to, when you farm the missiles from the bomb chorizo, you have to do it in a way that doesn't clump them all together. So you're only picking up the max that you can get, which is 5, and then you leave some missiles behind so that when you use all 5 on the bomb chorizo...
Go!
Yep. You use all 5 on the bomb chorizo, and then you finish off the fight with the remaining 3 missiles that should be left. Or 3 or 2, excuse me. Okay.
And that lets you skip the phase where its head gets blown off and starts running around.
Yeah, you don't want... when you have the pea shooter, the amount of damage you deal is about 10, and the missiles do 100. If the bomb chorizo goes below 100, his head comes off, so you want to finish him off with a missile.
Go straight from 100 to 0, I guess.
That was sort of a convoluted explanation, but it worked.
I mean, coming up is the first major sequence break, real famous old school trick. You can access this super missile early by performing a mock ball in midair, allowing you to barely squeeze underneath these gates. Game kind of intends for you to have speed booster before you can come back here and get it. This is actually like a missile expansion.
Yep.
Oh, yep, take the drink. And that little spot right there lets us skip a real tedious mini-boss fight, Spore Spawn. Yeah. Some pity category for him.
Yeah.
All these fancy Kagos here, I like it.
Yeah. Do all the serious tech here. So we're getting pretty lucky with the missile drops. You might have noticed I used missiles on the pirates before coming down the elevator, and that's to conserve energy. Because we're going
Got
into
a missile.
Yeah, because we're going into the wreck ship first. We want to conserve our health.
And a charge beam right after it. Good job, guys. Good pace, good pace.
Whoa, got there. But
The Federation would be proud.
yeah. Yeah, Super Metroid is definitely one of these games that's like full of all this movement tech, and I'm doing all sorts of just minute little things that really speed you up, help me platform as quickly as possible. So again, we're doing the new route, which isn't that new by these by time standards, but
Nice.
the old route goes down the red tower. We are going up.
So that iceless red tower climb is notoriously tough. It's one of the barriers to entry for this, but the real barrier for entry for the Fantune first is coming up in a little bit. But before that, also climbing up the red tower, I guess you could consider it a minor sequence break coming down here for the power bombs. So this should be at like a rough 8-minute mark, 9-minute mark. And take a drink. Oh.
Maybe going a little too hard.
And we potentially, definitely have a missile pack coming up here. Kind of unavoidable.
Oh, yeah.
But this is a notoriously difficult aspect of this category.
Hand me Lone Star, please.
There you are.
Do you call this the moat?
Yes.
The moat,
This is
okay.
the moat.
So normally you need the grappling beam to be able to cross this. The speed booster is also quite easy, but we've got neither of those. Pretty much, there's a real precise wall jump you can do. I believe it's a combination of a pixel perfect and 2-frame window. Okay. Damn.
Yeah. So with this first jump,
That looks good. Take a drink. Now it's a 2-frame window to hit this wall jump. Boom!
Nice.
We're in.
so yeah, we have various setups for getting the CWJ, which is the continuous wall jump. As I dip my feet into this water.
Continuous wall jump. Okay.
Yeah.
The Rip Ocean Fly was a good run.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's quite easy to cross that without the grappling beam and without high jump. So one of the real scary parts about Fantoon first, compared to going to Kraid first, by the time you get to Fantoon, you would normally have like 2 energy tanks and the Various suit, and the Various suit would have your damage, taking only like 20 damage from Fantoon's attacks. But without that, you're taking 40 damage. Only 1 E-tank, so JD's going in there with 160 health. He can only take like 4 hits. I mean, you're going to be collecting health throughout the fight as well, but Fantoon is also a really difficult fight. We don't really have any beams right now. Super missiles send them into a real slow pattern where you can't hit them. So pretty much the only option is regular missiles. And normally he disappears after hitting with 3 missiles, but after hitting with a few missiles. But if you slowly run towards him while shooting missiles at a particular rate, you can prevent him from despawning and do a lot of damage in one go. And that was okay.
Yeah, it wasn't too good.
We're
getting this is probably a pretty
probably a
slow
3 cycle here. But it's just, we're doing fine.
Yeah, so long as my health is in a good spot, I'll be happy with this fight.
It was a slow, but
That was
pretty
a little bit better. Yeah, another slow pattern, sadly. The first pattern was actually a mid pattern.
Okay, slow, mid, slow.
See if I can do 3 missiles here. Yeah.
Very nice. Okay.
So 3 round.
Yeah, it was a pretty comfy fight. I mean, pretty stress-free.
Yeah, pretty stress free. You can do it in 2 rounds if you're really good with
The Doppler.
doing the Doppler.
It's a real tricky technique, though. Just involves like stutter stepping and a nice rhythmic press of the shot button. I can't really do it.
Yeah, neither can I. I can only do it, barely. I can barely do it. But the 2 round is a very precise technique. Okay, so we're getting our second super missile pack.
Drink.
This is the most convenient one to pick up, since right after the boss is right there for you. And we actually do not pick up any more super missiles, which is a shame because they're very useful throughout the game. I'm going to do a ceiling clip right there, using the blocks, the breakable blocks I should say.
The attic, a real tricky room to clear of enemies since it's pretty much all gray doors in this room.
We're going to just conserve some of our ammo here.
Okay, that was pretty solid.
And we need...
Good ammo count.
Yeah, we need at least 120 health going into this spike room that's coming up. So this is very dangerous going into the spike room without Variant. These spikes do 60 damage.
Nice. All right.
There we go. Yeah.
So it's not worth damage boosting off the spikes. I feel like it goes back and forth. It's not.
Yeah.
Okay, good. I'll stop.
When you damage boost, sadly you'll lose your momentum.
Right.
So your run speed, as if it's the way I was doing it, I was just holding run throughout, and just barely doing those jumps when my iframes would go away, so I was able to clear it.
Yeah, the bowling alley, I guess is what they call it.
Yeah, they called this the bowling chorizo, just from how he's holding the morph ball there.
And gravity suit, get ready for the drinks.
Yeah, this is
Cheers.
much longer cutscene. Cheers. Alright, so far so good. We're gonna go down into Norfair now, collect some items. So there'll be plenty of more drinking to come. Sort of do like an unmorph there to sort of stop my momentum. You can skip that platform that's in the middle of that elevator room. But my ammo is looking really good. So, like most any percent runs of Super Metroid, even if you're doing the old route or the new route, it doesn't really matter. The more super missiles that you have, the better. The more supers you have, the better. The more power bombs you have, the better. So my ammo count is looking real healthy. And I will say the one thing that makes this route much harder is because I'm not picking up the plasma beam. I am actually going to pick up the spacer beam instead to help me. But having the plasma beam would be much more beneficial. Except that it's out of the way, so...
So this is also out of the way, but it's... Oh, drink, take a drink.
That's right, yeah.
Nice.
Losing some time, but it's fine. We made sure to...
So the spacer is a little bit out of the way. I mean, you're taking another like 30 seconds to pick this up, but the extra damage that it does against bosses makes it worth it.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
the plasma is just way too far out of the way after defeating Dragon to...
Right.
Plus, you'd want the... Well, okay. I can't rationalize this, but I can see.
Yeah. The plasma beam, like, when you're not using it, you'll notice how much you miss it, because it really just tears apart all the enemies in this game. It's the most powerful beam.
It's like a charged shot is like 3 times stronger than like a wave ice.
Yeah,
Like a wave ice phaser.
that's true. So we got more drinking.
Okay, yeah, we got a couple right here.
We come down here, we grab another energy tank. That's going to be really helpful. And this is the big thing, the high jump boots.
Yeah, pretty much gonna... I think the Haiju boots, I guess the critical part is getting into lower Norfair and maybe navigating lower Norfair.
Oh yeah. Mostly because you want the high jump boots to make it through what we call the worst room in the game. So
Oh yeah, aptly.
you have to make this wall jump in that room there, and if you don't have the high jump boots, you could use the ice beam, but it's slower. The high jump just really benefit from it all around. It also helps with the big Metroid skip, so you need the high jump boots for that.
Cheers, guys.
Cheers.
Yep,
Yep.
take a drink. Okay.
All right, that's finished. I need another one.
Gotcha. There you go, buddy.
Thank you.
Okay.
So that's a real tricky technique right there to get this mock ball through the gates. We call it the ice escape. I'm gonna farm up some power bombs right there. You're gonna need power bombs before you go into Lower Norfair. So a lot of this section here is just farming ammo, just you know, cleaning up your movement as you go through Norfair, doing this item collection before you go into Lower Norfair to take on the second boss.
Classic sequence breaker right here.
Yeah, yeah,
That's great. That's great damage boost.
yeah.
You want to discuss the damage boosting as far as how you do it?
Sure, yeah, like, so long as you're holding the jump button, if you press the direction away from where you're facing, you will do a damage boost off of pretty much anything, like, you see the spikes, the enemies, anything that gives you that white flash. Cheers.
Yeah, as long as you turn around right before you hit the enemy that you want to hit, if you need to turn around, you have pretty free reign of damage boosting in any direction. And it's a real fast boost too.
It's a 4-frame window, is that right?
That sounds about right. You have a good window of doing it. All right, good ammo count,
good farm.
yeah. So I'm gonna freeze this enemy here to reduce lag. I'm gonna use a missile also. Alright, and we got 2 more items coming up.
Missile.
Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah, Deuce is going in. He's going in. Whoop. Get that second one open, man. Come on.
Variants. Sorry, who made it?
Alright, so the wave beam is probably the most important beam that you pick up here in the new route.
It increases your damage output significantly.
And I'm also going to use it for a power bomb combo.
Oh, right.
Special, sort of a secret technique. Not for the speedrun, but, you know, just through the game, actually, you'll see it.
There's a lot of stuff like that in this game. There's just hidden techniques kind of all over the place that aren't fully fleshed out, and a lot of them aren't too useful. The developers just kind of, I don't know, just
Special,
threw a
like,
bunch
Easter
of stuff
egg,
and
yeah.
see what sticks. So this route does do Ridley second.
Alright, I'm going to try to do Lava Spark here.
Lava Spark.
Yeah,
Yo,
we
nice.
just
Very nice.
barely got it.
So yeah, that's how you get into Lower Norfair. Only 20 minutes in, you know,
Yeah. That's the
without space jump.
Yeah, that's the most optimal way of getting into the Lower Norfair, without doing a gravity jump, which is a nice little backup thing.
Yeah,
you can do.
yeah. So if you miss that shine spark, there's not a whole lot you can do to build up another one. So just a series of wall jumps with the high jump boots is pretty much what you need, and it's still really precise.
I don't think I got it. We might have to try again. Yeah.
So fast pillars, I think, is what they're calling this.
Yeah.
Getting this shine spark right at the edge, and it requires a short charge. Short charge lets you build up a speed booster or build up a shine spark with the speed booster over a shorter distance, since the game only checks to see if you're holding the run button at certain intervals. So you can release the run button, not have to go as fast, but still build up the shine spark. Yep, another technique in the huge library of techniques in this game. Makes you wonder if they intended some of this stuff.
So you just gotta navigate through all of these enemies.
The last space pirate has a real awkward hitbox, and those guys do quite a bit of damage if you touch them. It's a little scary.
So this is a lag
Nice.
reduction strat. You're gonna use the speed echoes there to destroy 2 of those red Kai hunters.
And no saves. You got this.
I'm
You got
feeling
this.
pretty good. Just a nice little mock ball there. Get under those big hoppers. Oh, 1K go. So hopefully I get full supers here on this first when I killed his first metal pirate. But I missed it. Oh man, what is going on? Okay. I think I'm too far.
Oh,
Yeah. Okay. We might have to do it again just because I'm pretty low on energy. Now I'm low on supers as well, so kind of botched it. We'll try to do a much better job with the. There we go. Oh, okay. Yeah, it's okay. We got a decent amount of supers now. Oops. Okay. I'm gonna take off this. This is usually how I do the fight. Thank you. Okay, so
missed a hit or two there on the tail.
So I'm doing a bit of a safe strat there, where Ridley like pogos. If you're on the bottom left, because the door is right there, Ridley cannot go all the way to the left and hurt you. So it's a nice little safe strat. Only if Ridley is pogoing though. So right here, I'm just like timing my shots. Timing my shots, timing my jumps. Ooh, okay, I wasn't really sure what he was gonna do. Looked like he was gonna swoop for a second. He came down for some pogos. Yeah, that's a real tough thing with this fight, is like trying to get your charge shots as quickly as possible. You can tell when he does a pogo because the screen will shake. There's this little vibration thing. It looks like he's done.
Beautiful fight. That's such a scary fight. I mean, it really has. It's got so much complexity to him. At least for me, as a relatively inexperienced speedrunner, it's just the way he acts is really unintuitive. Ending the fight is really awkward too. Like you can kind of over damage him to where he'll just explode, but he's actually dead well before it seems like he is. You just have to get him to pick you up in morph ball form to actually have him die. But it's a real stressful fight, especially with only 2 E-tanks and with minimal firepower. Like the charged plasma ice wave, you can take it down like 20 charges. But it's a little tricky with just the spacer. It takes a little longer.
So I'm trying to go for a speedball here. Oh, but we got some bad luck. Those enemies there can be damaged twice and give you more iframes when you go through. So this is a very tricky spot. You have to get through these red Kai hunters, and there's 2 sets of them. This is the first set. Yeah, the first guy.
With the gravity suit. Yeah, those are one of the most damaging enemies in the game. They can be really scary trying to avoid them in that small area. There's one more scary section with those guys coming up. After that, we're pretty much in the clear.
Okay.
Nice. It's okay. Very nice. You have survived, but
Yeah.
that's kind of where you let out the deep breath.
Yep.
Finally out of the scary stuff in warfare.
So we're sort of backtracking a little bit, just trying to make our way out of this section. And typically, the next boss we're going to fight is Kraid. You typically fight this boss first, but we do it third. For good reason. When there's a mini boss that you encounter in this section in Kraid's lair called Mini Kraid. And Mini Kraid, so long as you have full or more than 50 energy, Mini Kraid will give you super missiles, and you want super missiles because you're gonna go through Meridia to fight, Botwoon and Dragon, and super missiles are very important against those two. It's a nice little door shot.
So is Varia the last item pickup?
Potentially, yeah, and another E-Tank, that is correct. We do need 3 energy tanks to beat the game.
Where's the mini crate? Nice massive super drop there. And the old crate quick kill. Normally just firing a super missile into this guy, or maybe it's damage based. Either way, he'll.
Yeah.
The normal fight is you hit him a little bit and he rises up, and then you finish him up. You can actually squeeze in 3 super missiles and 1 regular missile right at the beginning, prevent the screen from scrolling up and scrolling to the right, saving significant time. It's always nice to get that. But the window's relatively tight. Shooting him with the missiles sort of stuns him.
Cheers.
Take a drink. And the Varia suit, it is necessary to get in here, even though you might be wondering, we have the gravity suit. Actually, having both gravity and Varia will reduce your damage. You have to want to have them both equipped at the same time, and that's necessary to survive the Mother Brain fight. Actually, does it only reduce the damage in the Mother Brain fight?
Yeah, Varia is significant. Is like, you only need the Varia suit to reduce to survive Mother Brain. If you do not, you will have to get 6 energy tanks.
3 other ET.
Yeah, which is a little.
Other item.
Yeah,
There's
3
14 seconds. So.
would take too. It takes longer to get 3 other energy tanks than does to get 1.
And the energy, these 3 energy tanks that were chosen are relatively right along the path that we intend taking anyways. Everything else pretty much requires you to go into a different route or something. And what's cool about this route is you can go from Kraid straight to Dragon here, which is kind of conveniently nearby.
Yeah, that's the biggest strength of doing the new route, is that the routing makes your travel distance a lot shorter. Oh man. Okay.
Tricky. There you go.
I blame 2Cat. You can't go through the door. Those are some nice little wall jumps, just to conserve some energy without having to spark up that section there we call the Mountain Doom. So I'm kind of hoping I get another power bomb drop. Hopefully our buddy Botwoon drops one for us. Okay, so I'm gonna do an X Factor and then use 6 supers on Botwoon. Hopefully. Alright.
So yeah, we didn't quite. Great fight. Being able to get 10 supers before he goes back into the hole to save a little bit of time, and also makes the fight consistent because as soon as he goes into the hole, it's kind of RNG from that point on.
Mm-hmm.
Last item. Take that drink, and I guess you could kind of sip from here on out or something. But yeah, we didn't quite explain one of the attacks there, the X Factor. You saw it during the Ridley fight as well, but by having the charge beam equipped plus a single other beam, and once you equip your power bomb, if you just charge, it unleashes an attack specific to that beam. Ooh, that should be
Oh,
a little low. That's the regular halfy.
sadly, there's like a secret pixel there that doesn't let you go higher. So unfortunately, I didn't get another power bomb. So this Dragon fight may be a little slow.
Yeah, the X Factor requires a power bomb, but pulling it off is essentially for each of the projectiles does a super missile's worth of damage, so it's a nice just burst damage. And in addition to that, Dragon, you can actually damage him using the Shine Spark. And this fight, there's this strange, I guess it's a glitch, but if you defeat Dragon with the Shine Spark, Samus gets put into this funny intermediate state, and it allows us to save a little bit more time coming up. See what we got. And it is totally worth doing it this way, both to save ammo, and it does a ridiculous amount of damage. Shine Spark in this guy. 300 damage per frame or something.
Yeah, it's a lot.
Should do it. Okay.
It's scary.
Alright, so we got blue suit now. As long as JD doesn't press the run button, you can kind of infinitely store a Shine Spark and use it at your leisure.
Yeah, it was a bit of a risk to do that last Shine Spark, but I just went for it to see, to just get us chugging right along. It is a speed run. Throw all caution to the wind. Okay, so I have to go.
Okay, alright.
Sort of got it.
Savvy.
Unfortunately,
Health locked there.
yeah.
Yeah, Shine Sparking does do damage to you over time, and that's actually really significant in a speedrun where you have pretty low health. And yeah, so that's pretty much all the bosses.
Yeah.
In Super Metroid, no major glitches. In order to access Turian, you need to defeat the 4 major bosses. And Dragon was the last one in this route. And this route, fighting Dragon, kind of deposits you pretty close to the surface as well, so it's like we've done a big circle through the entire map. And,
Thank you. We're gonna do a little bit of farming here, just to get our health up.
don't want to get health bombed by some of these Metroids.
Yeah, again, keep an eye on that super missile count, because the more I have going through the final section, the better it is. And it's very easy to get bad luck in the final section.
At a particular point, you want to have your maximum of 15 missiles and 10 supers. Do you need max to finish it? It's like 15 and 9.
So I have 20 missiles, so I would need 20 and like 9.
Okay.
Ideally. But for the really competitive, you want 15 and 10. Yeah, and you need that.
Okay, you skip the missile in front of the wave beam. Right. We did get a speedball. But yes, that's these Metroids. You have to either defeat them with a super missile, you have to freeze them and defeat them with a super missile, or 3 power bombs each. And there's several rooms that have a locked door until you defeat all the Metroids, so you have to pretty much have to defeat them this way. Power bombs are super slow, and it takes a lot of them. We don't have very many, so it's pretty much going to be supers, and clearing out all the enemies with just supers, you're going to be out from Mother Brain. So we depend on the Metroids for dropping supers. You can kind of just get screwed.
Cheers, me, dude.
Oh, cheers. Thank you.
Oh, yep, and this is the statues. Nice little break here.
Yeah, I tried to conserve some of my super missile count there by using missiles on the doors.
Yeah, missiles are still pretty important for breaking Mother Brain's
yeah,
casing, where it's kind of super missile independent. You just need to hit it with some sort of missile. Yes, really ammo intensive in this last area. So good luck.
Let's reset the room. I made a mistake.
Good call. Good call.
Yeah. That's the nice thing about Super Metroid. You just leave the room. You can start right over. Okay. There we go. Just gonna bomb these two off and group them together.
Okay, pay attention to that super count at the top of the screen.
Ooh. Actually, I wanted to blow those two up together, so it was kind of a strange pairing. Whoops. Alright, so we're at 7. That's pretty good. I'm going to use missiles on these last set. If I don't get supers, it's actually not the end of the world. But usually when you do this, there's a good chance of getting a good amount. So 20 and 9 is good. Uh-oh. Okay. My energy is actually very important, so I can't let my energy go below 300, especially against Mother Brain 2, the second phase. But before that, we gotta try and skip the big Metroid.
Yes.
Okay. That was an awkward last jump, so did another one just...
Okay, so that prevents you from getting your health drained down to 1, so you can completely skip that energy recharge station. But again, you want to keep your health above 300, because if it gets below 300, you pretty much get killed instantly by Mother Brain's Mother Brain's attack. I don't know what it's called.
The Rainbow Beam.
Rainbow Beam.
Isn't it, like, your movement's super slow through that room?
Yeah, if you get grabbed by the big
Like,
Metroid.
as you're transitioning through, it slows your movement to that
Yeah.
speed.
That's right. It thinks that the big Metroid's still attached to you, so...
You can kind of crash the game, I think, that way, right?
I actually don't know. I have soft locked it one time where I went through the transition and it, like, Samus was in that animation where she's like breathing really heavily, where the game thinks that you're supposed to have the big Metroid on you and it lets go of you. So it was just like I was in the other room and I was just stuck there. I couldn't move. It was really funny.
And now it's going to take 50, I think, charge?
60, so 60.
charge hits.
And my energy is not very good, so I took a save there just to sort of guarantee try and get through this.
Got this. The scariest part of this is when she transitions into her catch-up beam attack.
Yeah.
Which is at, like, I don't know what it is, but it's coming. It's kind of awkward at a particular damage threshold. She'll just suddenly start attacking a new attack. Okay.
It's sort of this game of chicken with Mother Brain because she does all these little jukes. Like she starts moving her head. She just starts to try to fake you out. But we got through it.
It's always really stressful.
Right. And again, you don't have the plasma beam. So with the plasma beam, it takes 20 shots. Without it, we have Spazer, Wave, Ice. It takes 60. So 3 times the amount of shots. You lose more than 40 seconds in this fight alone. So it's pretty significant.
And would you have been able to survive any of those attacks? Well, I guess the
So-
French fries would
right.
be okay, but everything else would have taken it out.
Yeah, so one of those little blue rings, if those touch me, there's 20. But
Okay. But they tend to hit like multiple times.
yeah,
so
right.
It's
Yeah.
kind of unpredictable.
The bombs also, if you're lucky, you'll only take 20 damage, but sometimes they can do 40. So again, it's a very tricky fight, especially when you're working with so little energy and you have to avoid everything.
But yeah, it's free from here on out. So
Yeah, from here it's just a cutscene. We get powered up by the hyper beam, our Metroid buddy giving us energy, and yeah, I'm gonna try and finish off this beer.
Yeah, so this was the baby Metroid that Samus saved at the end of Metroid 2: Samus Returns, or in the beginning cutscene of the game. The baby that was following you around, and I guess it attacked you a little earlier, thinking it was just an intruder. And if you didn't run away like real fast like a speedrunner, I guess it would have drained your life until 1 HP, realized it's her mother, and coming back to save her at her time of peril. But as you see, Mother Brain was kind of pissed about that, taking out the baby Metroid, and we are not happy. In addition to completely filling up our health, baby Metroids, the Super Metroid, it also transferred some kind of crazy beam power. All your beams are replaced with this thing called the Hyper Beam, and it's just totally, devastating. And it's too bad you can't play the rest of the game with this.
So if you play the Zelda 3 Super Metroid Rando, you can get a Hyper Beam.
That's right. Yeah.
Kill Spore Spawn in a single shot.
Yeah.
Sweet.
So, it's kind of retribution.
Yeah, the hyper beam actually does the same amount of damage as a charged plasma shot, or excuse me, if you have like all of the beams like charged plasma, wave, ice shot. So it's just about as powerful as one of those.
Nice, so you can continually fire it.
So nothing too serious here. I'm gonna do one last moonfall. Those are the only 2 moonfalls we use in any percent, and because those falls are so lengthy, it saves a little bit of time.
Takes like 4 seconds.
Yeah, altogether. Whoops.
Okay, Behemoth Spark, rip. Oh, I like this backup here.
Do it again. There we go. I guess I did it too early. Okay. The parlor. Yeah, especially in this game, you gotta really optimize your movement there. And,
Ready for time?
yep, on the ship. 47. Alright. Thank you.
I mean, you beat it. You actually, when winning on PRKD, it's always a good run.
Yeah. It's one of the tougher routes to do. And yeah. Always good to have a drink when you finish. I didn't pick up too much extras. The only thing was that extra missile pack, so I believe it should be around 20%. I think
Okay.
runs these days they finish with 19. So that's the evolution of the speedruns these days. They're picking less and less, and they're finishing ridiculous times.
29? 30? Okay.
33, yeah. Me re-entering the Metroid, the Metal Pirates room probably really set me back.
Okay, yeah. And pretty critical part of the run coming up here too,
Yeah.
especially in Beerforce percent.
Cartridge man, 3 Lone Stars.
Yeah, I know.
I didn't have a word about anything else. I'm like, alright.
Yeah, it gets pretty intense, like through the middle of that fight, and then you start to cool off.
Yeah, that beat my PB by about 12 minutes. Not too bad.
It's okay. I know that like one of the entry barriers when people start running Super Metroid is an hour, and then if people really want to get serious, it's sub 50.
Right. Yeah.
And then after that is like
That's
separating the men from the boys kind of deal.
Yeah.
So put an estimate of 50 for Beerforce.
Serious business.
yeah. Especially, I got past one of the early barriers in the game where I had to do the moat. I had to do that CWJ, and that's no gimme. Like I got it like practically first try, and yeah, it's not easy.
You can easily get just locked into that. You know,
Yeah.
failing it a couple of times, suddenly it's playing mind games with you.
Oh, and that return trip back to through the water underneath and like awful.
Yeah.
And the
That's like a 10-second loss every time you have to do it. So.
shoutouts to Gunpei Yokoi, rip. Guy's a genius. Beerforce.